So you just bought your very first drone and you've been skimming YouTube for the past hour trying to learn how to create these epic drone shots that you see all over the internet. The problem is that there's a lot of videos out there showing you what these shots should look like, but there's not a lot of videos on how to actually film these shots. And so in this tutorial, I'm going to be showing you exactly what to do with the joysticks so that you can go out and capture some epic drone footage. We're going to be starting off with number 5, which is the bird's eye view. The bird's eye view is a unique shot because it gives a very interesting perspective of the scene. If you're on a coastline or there's interesting landscape, this is a great one because it can show the contrast between, say, the trees and the ocean. To get this shot, pull down on the gimbal wheel and press forward with the right stick so that you are tilting down as you move forward in your scene. Here are some of my favorite bird's eye variations. With shot number 4, we have the reveal, which is a really cool shot if there's a point of interest within your scene that you want to reveal to the audience. And so for this, you can see that we can either move around an object or tilt up our camera as we're flying around. To achieve this shot, we're going to be pushing up slightly on the gimbal wheel and then moving around with the left joystick to move around the scene. Here are some of my favorite ways to do a reveal shot.
I don't wanna miss a beat, and on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll...
At number 3, we have the tracking shot, which is a great shot if we want to follow our subject through the scene. Now this can be great for vehicles or motorcycling or even running across a landscape. So for this shot, we're going to come and we will grab the right stick, and with the right stick, we're going to gently track our subject as they move across the screen. Here's a couple different ways to use a tracking shot in your footage. Notice how I place my subject on the back third line to make sure they have plenty of space to move into.
Turn us to thousands, and we'll grow in number, fueled by them to see the horizon.
At number 2, we have one of my favorite shots, which is the orbit shot. This gives a really interesting parallax to the scene as you see the subject stay still and the background move around behind it. It pulls you into the scene and makes the landscape feel three-dimensional. On the sticks, you're going to want to make sure that you pinch them at the base like this instead of holding them at the tops with your thumbs. You want to make sure you have a really steady grasp on them so that your footage is smooth and the orbit nicely pivots around your subject. To film the orbit, we're going to pinch both of our sticks at the base and we're just going to gently nudge them either towards or away from each other so that we pivot around our subject. Check out a few of my favorite variations of the orbit shot.
Through the highways, till my shadow turns to sun rays, and on we'll go through the wastelands, through the highways, and on we'll go.
At number 1, we have my favorite shot, which is the helicopter shot. And this will add a ton of production value to whatever film you're working on because it actually makes it feel like you're shooting out of a helicopter. Helicopters can achieve these incredible cinematic shots because, first of all, they have both a pilot and a cameraman, and so they can pan, tilt, track, and follow their subject all at once. And they also are shooting on really high-end cinema cameras, which typically have a pretty narrow field of view, which means you have a nice zoom in on your subject. And so we can go ahead and create that with our drone by combining some moves that we learned previously to get this really cool helicopter effect. So the first thing for the helicopter shot is that if your drone shoots 4K, you're going to want to shoot 4K. And that's because we're going to digitally crop into our subject so that we can pretend that we're using a zoom lens. when in reality, most drones film at about 24 millimeters. To get this shot, we're again going to be holding our joysticks down at the base, and we're going to gently nudge them around as we move our drone through the scene. I'm also going to put my middle finger here on the gimbal wheel, and I'm just going to gently nudge it down or up, depending on what direction I want the camera to tilt. The combination of these three moves will have our drone move through 3D space and come up and over our subject. And that, combined with the crop, will really just sell that awesome helicopter feel. Here's a couple of ways you can use the helicopter shot in your footage. Alright, so that sums up my top 5 epic drone shots. But before you guys go, I want to direct you down into the description where I have linked my drone flying cheat sheet, where I've listed all the shots we covered today, plus a few extras. If you liked this video and if it helped you, please give it a thumbs up and comment in the description below any other kind of tutorials that you would like to see in the future. Thanks, keep it real.